You wouldn't believe it, but I've done it. Yeah, so I finally built a copper farm. And no, it's something I had been talking about forever now, but finally sat down and just or I wouldn't say I designed this. I put like two pieces together, like from ideas that I got from elsewhere. But get back in here. So yeah, if we look at the left side of the screen at the monsters, we have over 1,000 drowned here. And since I've built this, let's look at statistics. I got this. I may have shown this forever ago, but I got the fancy statistics thing. And yeah, over 16,000 drowned I have killed so far. And yeah, so I'm going to pull these guys, so I gotta change out my swords. And once they're all gone, I'll go and show you how I get this thing started up. Oh my god. XP. Alright. Cool. So I have come down into a chamber. And just behind this wall, I have a zombie spawner. As we can see, a couple of zombies spawned. And so they'll come up this bubble vader, and I have a dispenser here with a water bucket. And what that does is when I press this button, it'll make a water source right there where the zombies are stuck. And so that will make it a water source block, and then they'll launch up. I also have a piston here with some soul sand, so that'll get retracted as they're coming up, and then it'll make a bubble vader the rest of the way up. So, yeah, I usually just sit here and I kind of wait for a good number of zombies to just kind of sit here. Because, I do that because it increases the number of potential zombie leaders, and the zombie leaders have a higher chance of spawning zombie reinforcements. So yeah, I just sit here and I wait, and it doesn't matter if they turned into drowned because drowned still have the reinforcement thing. So yeah, it's really simple. I got this idea from Tango Tech. He did the same thing with a copper farm of his, maybe in season 8 or 9 of Hermitcraft. So yeah, I just took that. And how many do I have in here? It's hard to tell because I haven't lit up any caves, so yeah, it still looks like there's quite a few zombies or monsters in the area. But yeah, I'll just wait a little bit. Oh, that might be okay. I'll just wait for them to come in. Looks like they did. And alright, so I press that button and I come up into my own bubble vader. And so I can follow them up as well so that they don't despawn. And yeah, we don't want that. Cool. So now that they've come up, they get sent through this tube. Then they actually act as like seeds. So they get dropped in, and yeah, they'll see me, and then they'll come over, and sometimes it gets stuck up there, which isn't great. Um, Let me fill up my inventory, and I'll grab my farming sword. So the farming sword only has looting I'm breaking and mending. Nope, cool. We'll just wait for them to come in. Sometimes I have to get their attention. But here I can see how many I brought up. I only brought up 7. A good number is probably over 20. Come on. Nah, I can't get that guy. Alright, so now that I got my farming sword, I can just kind of smack this armor stand here, just every once in a while, just so I don't break the armor stand here. And yeah, so we saw reinforcements spawn in. And we can just keep... Since I don't have many monsters in here, I might kind of take it slow. Ooh, another one spawned. Just a baby. So the babies, they get filtered out. You know, they think that they can cross the trapdoors here, and then, yeah, they just drop in onto some magma block. Did another one spawn? There's one. So, yeah, you just kind of keep this up, and it's sort of an exponential, thing. So every new zombie leader that spawns in and comes over here, you know, the chance of spawning more and more just increases over time. So it looks like I'm already building up a good number. Yeah, so pretty cool. I should probably kill these guys off. I'm not gonna get it started again. But yeah, so I haven't installed an auto clicker. I don't know if I will. I might, just because even though I get a lot of zombies in here, it still takes a little while. So I'll get these guys killed, and I will go check out the storage system down below. Cool. So, I just sit up there and farm them, and then I have my storage down here down below. So I guess I haven't gotten anything yet. Yeah, so not losing anything, and I can tell because I haven't seen a shulker box go through. Do I have any blocks on me? We can check. So I'll grab this first one. Should be almost done. Ooh, yeah, it's very close. So, I've only sat here, I don't know, probably a couple hours at the most. So these first 3, I'm storing copper, and that's just because this water stream, like, it can't quite keep up with this first one, so when I was testing the filter here, it seemed like 3 was enough to keep up, and then the rest was just kind of wasted space. But over here in the 4th one, I think that got picked up. Yep. I'm storing the Drown's head. Or Drown's head? Yeah. Got so many of these. So I wasn't going to do an item filter, or yeah, shulker box loader for the heads, but it was producing so many that, ooh, forgot the double jump, or to fly. But yeah, I was producing so many heads that I decided to add some shulker box loaders for them. But yeah, I want to jump into creative because this wasn't the first farm I designed. Last episode I said I wasn't going to go with this design because of the auto clicking. But I designed another farm that, obviously I didn't like as much, and that's why I went with this. So let's do that. Cool. So I'm here in creative, where I, have my first version or iteration of the copper farm. This one is based on just spawner stuff, spawner zombies. Yeah. And yeah, so I found this configuration in my survival world where, the spawners were on the same Y level and they had this 1 block gap between, so that allowed me to put like a channel through here. And so yeah, the zombies just come up and through a bubble vader. And if I actually go into hard, I can spawn. See if we can get some of the spawn. Yeah. So the zombies will like go up the bubble vader, and then they'll drop down another column of water here, where they have just enough time to kind of convert into drowned. And if I turn that on, that just flips a trapdoor I have here, and that just helps to pause them and make sure that they've turned. And then once they've turned, they get dropped into another kind of channel of water, then get pushed up another bubble vader where they'll drop and become like one hit. So are they coming down? Yeah, very slowly. But yeah, so this design had a couple issues. For one, it's really slow. Takes forever to get any copper. The amount of copper I got here is from like 100 and some zombies, or not zombies, drowned, over the span of like 10 or 15 minutes. So that's not great. Another issue is that these two spawners are at a Y level of -7, and that's the same Y level as in survival. So that allowed the glow squid to spawn, which would then clog up the system and prevent the zombies from going through, or it would just take a very long time to do so. So yeah, that wasn't great. But I decided that I don't want to take forever to get any copper, so I decided to come back to Turtle's copper farm design and add my own thing to it, because there's no great way of getting zombies into that system. So I figured I'd use an idea that Tankotech, or I got from Tankotech. I don't know if he got it from somebody else, but he used it in like season 8 or 9 for one of his copper farms. So yeah, it's just a spawner, and I'm doing the same thing. Got a channel through the center, and a bunch of zombies come up a bubble vader, and they get halted in this space with a dispenser in front of it. That dispenser has a water bucket in it. So when I press this button, it'll put a source block there, turning the rest of this channel into a bubble vader. Um, but it'll get picked back up very quickly, so I need to turn the rest of it into a channel. So up here, I have a soul sand, which this piston will retract to let the zombies pass, and then maintain the bubble vader the rest of the way up. So yeah, as you saw in the previous clip, I press the button and I go up the bubble vader, and I just follow them up so that they don't despawn. I wanted to turn off the hitboxes. All right. So yeah, that's the copper farm design, and the first design I came up with. This worked, but it was way too slow, and I wanted something faster. All right. So last episode, I talked about a gold bartering system, or just the bartering system. So I'm gonna go check that out because I changed some stuff and have a final design that I will be building later on. Alright, so I'm here in the nether, and let's just turn off, or go back to peaceful, so we stop them from spawning. This guy may not have spawned. No, he did. Okay, he's not named. That's why I know. So I think this is the configuration I showed last episode. It is a little bit changed because I tried to do something different with the storage system. So this system, it works. Before I went back to this guy, I was just doing the, normal kind of, forgetting the words, hopper cart unloader. But, I thought that was a little too slow, so I tried to do something faster. But the nice thing with this guy is that it only backs up back at the piglins. But this guy, it backs up here, which is an issue because, items are sitting here and they have the potential of despawning. Whereas when they're sitting over here, they're in a chest, they're not going to despawn. So yeah, I tried to speed up the collection system by using kind of an ice path. So this system was great, but if I fly down here, so you can see these trapdoors, and I have like these weird rails here, right? They're kind of floating. So when the minecarts come up, if I let's put some stuff, get some iron, we'll just put some stuff in the chest so we can see what this does. Yeah, so you can see when the minecart breaks, it drops its items through the rails, but every once in a while, they would get stuck on top of the trapdoors. And no matter what configuration I had the trapdoors in, I couldn't fix this problem, just because when it explodes, the items, they have a random direction that they'll go. So, yeah, I couldn't get, if I could have gotten this system working, it would have been awesome. So, yeah, I had to go and change kind of the entire system. So over here, I actually got a system working. So first I had to decide how I wanted to store the items. So I still wanted, thinking that the fastest way to do it was to still use the ice and slime pusher. So the system's a little weird. Let's go over here because this is the system I'm going to use. It's the same one as over there, but I had to do some stretching over here. So I have chambers for each piglin, so there's 10 here. And where does their gold come in? Through here. So the gold gets dropped through some powdered snow and it gets lined up on top of a gold plate here. So, the piglin, he'll pick up the gold, and when he picks it up, that sends a signal to turn this piston off, and it'll activate the dropper again. Because there's a lot of weird things I'm doing here. So yeah, when the gold runs out of this hopper, I send a signal this way through an observer. So when those turn off, the observer sees that and it powers the activator rails, and then this observer then powers this guy. And so this minecart will come back all the way over here and start unloading gold through this hopper into this minecart hopper into this hopper. And I had to do this because I needed a comparator here to measure this guy. So I needed to turn off this rail here when the cart is over here. So I needed the minecart and the comparator in the same space, or I needed like a hopper in the same space as the comparator. And I had to do that because I had a space constraint over here. Otherwise, I could have had a hopper here, and then the comparator here. But then I wasn't able to do something like this because this redstone block is powering the rail there. And if you might be able to understand what's happening, it's weird. But yeah, instead of using the hopper, I just used the hopper cart because that allowed me to use this space with two items in this space. Cool. Which one do I want to show off? I have this one working. This one's connected to an item filter. And yeah, the only reason I had to add a gap between each piglin was because the piglins were taking each other's gold. So this system is technically tileable, but the piglins break it. So, alright. Just so I can show it working on the other side, I'm going to spawn in a player. And let's see if he likes this. He's a viewer. Alright, it's a little weird. I'm using the carpet mod to do this, so he's not actually here. Don't worry. Oh, look, you got an achievement. Weird. So I'm going to turn it on, and it's going to drop gold. They'll pick up the gold, and they'll drop their items. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. It's not getting picked up. Interesting. Is it broken? Oh. Oh. Just go. Oh, I see. That's just a normal cart. Well, that's easy to fix. There we go. And then I took a bunch of their gold, so gold there. Oh god, I'm taking all the gold. I'm breaking it. Oh no. Scratch that, I'm just gonna... Should be working now. Cool. Alright, so he's gonna stand there. He's gonna keep, keep this area loaded. So I can go through the portal and show off the filter. So items come through the portal, and items, they're going west. So you just have to line that up. Right? Does that make sense? Maybe. So they're lining up against the chest there, and then they go over the hoppers here, and then they get filtered. So I think I covered everything. And then, yeah, I filled this stuff up with a lot of gold. Yeah, let's turn the system off. And goodbye. There, he left the game. If you don't know, he's a viewer that comments a lot, so I figured I'd feature him. Cool. I'm just thinking now what do I do? I'm done designing everything. I think I have a schematic of that. Yeah, so I'm going to build this now in survival. So let's do that. So the bartering system is done. It's way up here. It's centered on this stuff. So yeah, it's all built. And all I have left to do now is to load in all the gold. Get that all going. And yeah, I got the piglins in. They weren't too bad. It's actually really easy. I just used some activator rails and they just dropped in. So everything's got buttons and stuff to prevent mobs from spawning. And yeah, the only thing I changed was down here with the leaves. I did have ice, but I had mobs spawning, and obviously I don't want to affect the rates of the farm, so I had to kind of change this a little bit. But it doesn't affect the momentum the items receive from being pushed. So yeah, the leaves were okay. But everything here went smoothly. I didn't really have any problems putting it together. So, and I've run it a little bit just to make sure it works, and so far it looks like it is. So yeah, down here I have 106 shulker boxes. They were completely full of gold nuggets, and I've put them all together into blocks. This probably won't be enough gold to fill the entire system, but it will be enough to get it started. So I'm gonna get all this loaded in, and then we can just watch it do its thing. Because what I was going to do was spawn in a player. Just this one time. This isn't something I'm going to do all the time. And I'm gonna do friend of mine. Alright, stand there. Stand there. Alright. Cool. So let's get through. Yeah, it's pretty good. Not been too long, and I've already almost got a shulker box of gravel. And that one's also a gravel. we can check it. If I can get in there. There. Pick it up. And it's got a little bit, not too much. Cool. So, yeah, this is probably a short episode, hopefully, not too long. I'll probably cut out a bit of the explanation or just going through the gold stuff. Um, but yeah, I got a copper farm finally, and I got the bartering system. So yeah, I should be able to start putting some more blocks or like materials and stuff together. I think I'm gonna continue doing that, just building up farms, and you know, yeah. So really, I just want to get a bunch of materials put together before I do any more building. I'll probably just continue on the builds I have going on at the moment. But other than that, yeah, I think just getting a bigger palette all set up and stuff, I think it'll help. But yeah, so now that I've got a lot more blocks coming in, I'm probably going to get a storage system figured out. And I have some ideas for one that I'd like to go with. I even have, you probably saw this just a couple times. I have an ocean monument out here, so I figured, I can utilize this space too, so I might build a farm out there. That would be nice. But that would also, I would need black dye and stuff to do some of the other, or, you know, black dye, make some block. Um, and if I do black dye, I think I might go with a wither rose farm, just so I have wither rose, so I can make a wither skeleton farm. So, cool. So that'll be it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, comment, share the video with a friend. Catch you in the next one. See ya.